Hi, I'm Chris, and welcome to Board on the Floor. Today we're going to take a look at The Lost Ruins of Arnak. It's a worker placement / deck building game designed by Mina and Elwin and published by Czech Games Edition. They recently released a solo campaign called The Search for Professor Kutil, or Professor Kutil, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. But either way, let's get off the floor and head on over to the table.
When a wealthy sponsor approached our small team offering to fund an expedition, I could scarcely believe it. Its sole goal would be to locate the lost expedition of the famous Professor Kutil, who vanished about a year ago. The man was widely known for his supposedly delusional claims that a lost land was hidden somewhere in the uncharted waters of the Pacific Ocean.
Many elements on the game board are set up in the same way as the solo game, but there's some slight differences for the campaign. One of the first things you'll notice that is different is over here on the camp that usually offers you the two compasses, we've placed the plane sight and the aeroplane item. What this now offers is the ability to actually gain an item right away. You also have the ability to purchase this airplane for 5 coins. Once you do that, you actually remove both elements from the board. The airplane goes to the bottom of your deck, and the sight token gets returned to the pile over here. Next, you'll notice at our dig locations on the board, we've placed these tokens. These are just the actual extra fear tokens from the game. Now you could put any type of token you want. These are now going to be referred to as story tokens. You won't be allowed to do research unless you have one of the story tokens on the side of the research track. So you're going to have to follow along with the story tokens in order to make your way up to our next change, which is our Owl Guardian. You'll notice the timepiece has been set here, and next to it we've placed the Owl Guardian and the journal. So in order to complete the campaign, we have to make our way up the research track and appease the Owl Guardian so that we could retrieve the journal. Now, this solo campaign is called The Search for Professor Kutil, and this is his journal. So retrieving it means we've completed the campaign. Now, of course, once we retrieve it, we could still continue to play if we actually have time left so that we could get more points and possibly defeat our rival. Our rival is Antoinette Dupree. She was kind of like our assistant who decided to branch off with her own group of people to try and achieve this goal before us. So that is what we're doing here in the solo campaign. We're competing against Antoinette in hopes to retrieve the journal before she does. Does she have nefarious reasons for trying to achieve it? I don't know. But we'll find out once we complete the campaign. Because in the actual instructions, once you make your way up to this level of the research track, there's some text that gets revealed. Same thing once you actually retrieve the journal and appease the Owl Guardian, there's more text. So the storyline is revealed as you actually complete the campaign. And this is just the first chapter. They've released chapter 2 and 3, and there will be a 4th chapter released probably in the next couple of weeks, which will complete the campaign. And we're going to take a look to see how it really differs from solo play. Seeing how there are no idols on the board, we can no longer use certain parts of our playmat. So we can't collect extra points up here, nor can we retrieve extra tokens or an extra card. So we have the game board set up. Let's go through a couple rounds so I can show you exactly how the gameplay works. First, I'm going to add my artifacts and my items to the board. When it comes to setting kind of a difficulty level for the game, it's all controlled by the rival game tiles. So you notice I have all the green ones here because I'm on the easiest setting. And also for the instructions, you have to remove the compass dig tile and the brush item and stone key artifact. I think they're going to come back into play in future chapters. So since I looked at these, let's shuffle them up again. The final addition for the solo campaign are the story tiles. So these are print and play. So you actually have to print these out. The story tiles provide additional ways to gather more tokens, but it's also more kind of flavor text to push the story forward. So you print these out, cut them, shuffle them, and each time you go to a dig site, you'll actually also retrieve a story tile. And so to get things started, I'm going to grab my first 5 cards. In the solo play and in the solo campaign, the rival always goes first. So let's flip our first tile. And this allows the rival to get an artifact of the lowest value. There's only one on the board. So let's retrieve that. Flip another one over. And now I'm going to take a look at my cards. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is dig, because each time you go to a dig site, you get to retrieve a story tile, which allows you to go up the research track. But of course, digging costs 3 compasses. I only have 1 right now, so I could use 2 of my cards to actually get extra compasses. So I'll gather 2 more, and then I could use this to travel. It's a boat. I'm going to go to a boat site. I'm going to spend my 3 compasses. And so retrieve the story token. And now I also take 2 site tiles and I decide which one I want. They're both very similar, but I'm going to take this one. Sadly, they both gave me a fear card, so it's going to add a -1. But I get a fear card, a tablet, and a crystal. I also flip over a guardian. After I reveal the guardian, I take the first story card. So, lucky find. This is incredible. What luck. Natasha just came from a quick scouting trip and she claims she has discovered gold in a nearby stream. This could give us an edge over Antoinette. Or, on the other hand, she also mentions having met a friend in the forest who, despite being part of Antoinette's group, agreed to share some knowledge with us in the name of science. This opportunity might be more valuable than any amount of gold. So I could get 3 coins, or I could get a tablet and 1 kind of token upgrade. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab a tablet from here, and then I'm going to upgrade this tablet to an arrowhead. So that's my first turn. I managed to do quite a bit. Let's go back to the rival, flip them over. Now they dig at the first arrowhead site, which is here. I don't have much I can do with my cards other than allowing me to travel to one of the basic camps, but perhaps I could start moving up the track. I'm going to use a crystal. I'm going to do some research, gain a coin. Not too bad. Now back to the rival turn. Now, instead of digging and revealing a guardian, whenever this rival tile comes up, what that now means is you got to go into the pile of idols, retrieve 1, place it on their mat. Once you get to the 4th round, that's when you would actually reveal 2 idols. And then, of course, in the last round, nothing. Buying items doesn't give you any benefit during your turn because you actually take the item and put them at the bottom of your deck. But at the end, it'll give you extra points. And then, of course, on your next turn, when you pick up the cards, most likely you're going to get the item you just bought. Sometimes I buy solely based on the points of the card and see if I could get the best value. Let's do that. Why not? I'm going to pick up the steamboat. Slide it underneath my deck. Slide the items over and reveal a new one. Back to the rival turn, and they are going to dig at a crystal site. And now I have an arrowhead, a tablet, 2 gold coins. Most likely I should try and get a few more compass tokens. So I will use one of my fear cards for its boot travel ability and head on over to this camp to retrieve 2 compasses. Ooh, and now the rival is going to do some research and gain an assistant. Now the arrow points exactly where on the board I would move or which item I would pick. So this arrow here too is also important in regards to the rival's move. So because it's pointing over here, that means it's following me on the research track. I've done all the exploring that I can because both of my meeples are on the board. So now I got to take a look at either purchasing artifacts or items or seeing if I could move up the research track, which I can't. So right now I might have to purchase another item, and I'm going to spend these 2 coins. Grab this one here. Grappling hook. Going to the coin dig site. I can't move up the research track even though I do have enough to pay for it because I haven't revealed the story marker. So that's what also limits a lot of the play in the campaign, which makes it quite a bit more challenging. But I can actually defeat that guardian maybe I'll do that. If I retrieve my meeples at the end of the round and there's still a guardian in play on a site that I just discovered, I will get an extra fear card. So defeating the guardian, not only does it give me points, it gives me the boon, which is indicated in the top right corner. So that might actually be a good idea because I can spend my fear card because it's got the boot and these two, and I will collect that. This icon up here allows me to get rid of one of my cards, either in my hand or in my discard pile here. Now, the kind of cards you want to get rid of are the fear cards, because at the end of the game, they take a point away from you. So in order to use it, I literally just flip it, and because it has this lightning bolt next to it, it doesn't count as an action. So I can actually do it this turn. I'm going to do that, get rid of this, goes back to the top of the pile. Now I have no more cards left, and I don't think I actually have any more actions I can perform. So for now, we'll go back to the rival turn, but next time it comes back to my turn, I might actually just pass. Let me just double check to make sure I haven't missed something I can do, and I think I'm going to pass. So passing just means they're going to complete all of their turns to the end of their tile stack. Now they get an item, lowest value item to the left, so that would be right here. They are getting the hot air balloon. Next, so here. This tile means if there was a guardian in play, they would actually collect it. But since there isn't, we go down to the next option, which is research. So now they are going to go up, and because there's no arrow here indicating where they go, but also because they have no other option, I could just go straight here. They collect this, which takes it out of play. But if there was an option into the two directions they can move, I just take a look at the bottom tile, and that would indicate where they should go. And that is the end of round one. So at the end of every round, there's a couple things that have to happen. The first thing is we lose the item card to the right and the artifact card to the left of the moonstaff, and the moonstaff progresses up to the next round. As you can see, every round we have more artifacts that are going to get revealed and less items. We collect our meeples. If there was a guardian still in play, I would get a fear card, but there isn't one, which is great. We're going to reshuffle the rival tiles. And then we shuffle our discard pile and we place it at the bottom of our deck. And then we retrieve 5 cards from the top. And with everything in place, we start round 2. Because I bought those 2 items, they were placed on the top of my deck, and so I have them in my second hand. The rival will start again, and on the first tile they do some research. For me, once again, I want to get those story markers, so I'm going to grab a token. Because of the lightning symbol here, this is a free action I could take, so I can still do that and travel in the same turn. So I will spend this and travel to a new site right here. Take my 3 compasses for payment. Take the story marker, add it to that next level of the research track. Grab 2 sites and decide which one I want to use. I'm going to go for the tablet and the arrowhead. Reveal a guardian and a story card. Ancient Waypoint. We found another statue of a frog warrior, similar to those we saw in a few locations nearby. We hope that cross-referencing the inscriptions might help us map the pathways between the ancient settlements here. But to be honest, I think we are all in need of rest. We have been through a lot, walking for days and facing the beasts of this land. Maybe a short walk along the sandy shore under the excuse of scouting the nearby area would lift everyone's spirit. So compass and tablet, or discard a card and compass. I don't have any, oh, I do have a fear card. These types of decisions are hard in the campaign, really, because do you want to go for more points or do you want to actually try to achieve the goal of the campaign? So I think I'm going to get more tokens. We're going to take the compass and the tablet. Compass and tablet. Back to the rival turn. They are going to dig at a tablet site. Since we actually have new sites revealed over here, they are no longer just going to go to the camps. They now go to the highest level dig site. So that would be this option. Now, of course, why does the rival travel to these locations? It's to block us. We can no longer go to them because the rival is on it. That makes it harder for us to progress. Since I do have this second level story marker on the research track, I can move up, and that's what I'm going to do. It's going to cost me a tablet and an arrowhead. I get one compass. Back to the rival. They are going to get an item with the lowest value. Now there are two. There's this one and this one, but the arrow points to the left, so they are going to retrieve this one. What I like about this game is that you don't actually kill the guardians. When you encounter these ferocious beasts, you actually try to appease them with some type of offering. And when you provide them with the offering that they desire, you overcome them and they kind of like come to your side and even provide you with aid. I think that's really nice. I can't overcome this guardian. I don't have what it wants. I don't want to waste my meeple going out just to a camp. I want to see if there's somehow a way for me to get another compass. Oh, and look at that. My steamboat card, which I just purchased before, is going to provide me with two, and it's a free action. So let's do that. Now that I have enough, I am going to dig. Sadly, I'm going to have to use the grappling hook to travel. Grab the story marker. Of course, don't forget to pay. Take a look at the two available sites. Crystal, compass, and arrowhead. To move up on the research track, well, I could get myself, yeah, maybe I'll do a crystal this time. Be a bit risky, try and get my notebook moving up the track so I could collect some assistance. So I get a crystal. Reveal a guardian. Now, sadly, with two guardians on the board, at the end of the round when I retrieve my meeples, I may retrieve two fear cards as well. Sometimes a rival tile actually takes a guardian out of play, which could be beneficial for us, even though it gathers those points at the end of the game. So we'll see how it ends up. And now I collect the story card, and this is the monkey cave. This area is swarming with monkeys. We saw a few of them arguing over something. Maybe it was left here by the Lost Expedition. Since the monkeys are fairly friendly, perhaps we could try trading something for it. Exile an item from your hand to gain an item with a value up to 2 coins higher from the card row to your hand. Treat funding and exploration cards as items with cost 0. Fear cannot be exiled this way. Or, however, a bit further we found red petroglyphs marking the entrance to a small cave. We could explore it a bit, but something about that place makes my skin crawl. Even the monkeys seem to be avoiding it. Oh, I don't really have anything I could exile from my hand since I've played all those cards and I'm left with a fear card. Sadly, I think I'm going to have to take another fear card and get a crystal. And back to the rival. They are going to get an artifact with the lowest value, which is this one here. And now I've explored as much as I can. I don't have enough to move my magnifying glass up, but I can move my notebook and get an assistant. So let's do that. Spend the crystal, move the notebook, grab an assistant. Who do I want? Do I want an exile a card, travel or compass, or get an upgrade? I think at this point, the most important thing for the solo campaign is travel. So I'm going to grab this guy. He looks like Captain Highliner. And with an assistant, what it means is every turn, a free action, I can exhaust my assistant and gather whatever it is on that token. So for now, I'm going to gather another compass and move back to the rival. They are exploring for arrowheads. And once again, I may have come to a point where there's not much that I can do. I can't purchase anything because I only have 2 compasses. I have no gold coins. I can no longer... no, I can't. I thought I might have been able to move up here, but I'm in the wrong space to move up to that left spot on the research track. So what I'm going to do this turn is defeat a guardian. I'm going to spend my fear card for its travel and 1 crystal, and I'm going to overcome this eagle guardian. Its boon is an airplane travel, so I could use it probably on the next round instead of one of my cards to travel. I know I said defeat a guardian, but what I actually meant was I want to appease the guardian. I don't want to do any harm to these beautiful creatures. So I've appeased the eagle guardian, and so that's going to stop me from getting a fear card at the end of the round, thankfully. And I've kind of played all my cards now, so let's head back to the rival turn. Antoinette is exploring. She is going over to this gold site. And let's see, with 2 compasses and a tablet, there's not much I can do. So I may pass, and that'll be kind of the end of my turn for this round. We are in round 2, so they get one of these tokens. If they end up picking up an idol that is obviously the same, it goes over to this kind of pile here, which just means it has a value of 2 at the end instead of a value of 3. And keep going through. Travel to crystal. And the last card they will research. And because I don't have anything here and they have 3 options, I got to flip this pack over and see that they will be taking the leftmost option, discarding that. And we are at the end of round 2. As you can see, the solo campaign is only slightly different than the regular solo rules. But the changes do add a lot of complexity to it, especially in regards to these story markers. Collecting the story markers in order to be able to move up the research track makes it so that the first couple of rounds, that should be where your focus lies. As you do more research, you're obviously trying to discover this owl guardian and find the journal. So focusing on that as opposed to collecting points is the end goal of the campaign. But it does make it more challenging, and especially when you see your rival collecting items, artifacts, and just gathering points all over the place. The first time I played the campaign, I lost by a single point, which I thought, oh, it's pretty close. And when I did the regular solo rules, I always ended up winning by a few points. But then the second time I played, I lost by almost 10 points. Because the second time, I obviously tried to see if I could achieve the goal and even surpass it, and my focus was just on research. In a regular game, you're not just focusing on research, you're also focusing on exploration, and the two combined allow you to gather a lot of points. Getting points during this campaign is a lot more challenging, but obviously the storyline provides you with so much more depth to the world that you will discover in the Lost Ruins of Arnak. I always go easy on myself when it comes to this game and play it at the easiest setting, so I have never added any red tiles to my rival deck, let alone the purple ones. So the fact that I'm still losing means that this game has the ability to challenge all levels of players. And it's just with slight differences in the deck, your rival achieves way more, way faster. With what they've provided, there's a lot of replayability, and there's obviously even a lot of playing against your own highest score. Achieving the goal isn't so hard, but achieving the goal and winning the game is quite challenging. And so as you go through, you'll obviously develop more strategy to how you can start to build up your points at the same time as digging so that you can collect those story markers and make your way up the research track to uncover the journal. Once you've completed the campaign and actually achieved your goals, what that means is that you can keep the journal item in your deck and move on to chapter 2. If you manage to make your way up the research track with your notebook, at the end of the game, instead of keeping the journal, you have the option to select any of the other cards in your deck. and that card will move up with you to chapter 2. So depending on what you've actually achieved in this campaign, it could change how you start the next chapter, which is how most campaigns play out. I haven't even had a chance to take a look at chapter 2, but once I do that, maybe I'll do another video because chapter 2 and 3 have now been released and 4 should be coming out shortly. So maybe I'll wait till all of the chapters are out and do another video discussing chapter 2, 3, and 4 and what their storylines are. The gameplay most likely will be the same, though I think we may be flipping the board over to the other side. I have never done that, period. Not only do you have the double-sided board, which gives you a slight variation of the game itself, but now with this campaign, obviously you have these goals, you have a storyline that really sucks you in, and the story cards, everything, it really, really does enhance an already great game. And this game has been quickly moving up the charts on Board Game Geek because it is so engaging. It's a beautiful board. The gameplay mechanics with the mixture of worker placement and deck building have come together perfectly. So anyone interested in one or the other would have a great time with this game. There's also an available app that will actually just play the rival deck for you. So instead of setting it up, you could just click through and it'll reveal the rival tiles as you go. It also allows you to customize it with numbers of red tiles, purple tiles, and green tiles. So if you're interested in using the app, I'll provide a link below, and I'll also provide a link to the instructions for the solo campaign, and that's where you'll be able to find the story cards, the extra rival tiles, and any further instructions you might need. I hope I've provided you with enough information to get started in the solo campaign of Lost Ruins of Arnak, the search for Professor Kutil. So thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you next time.